And welcome to this week's episode of Beyond the Forecast. I'm meteorologist Rob Lindenmuth, joined by my colleague, meteorologist Kevin Appleby. Hey, Kevin.
How you doing,
We're on
Rob?
episode 13.
What's up?
Episode 13. I can't believe it, right? I mean,
They're going fast.
It is. It really is. Every week, it's like, all right, well, we're doing it again. What are we going to talk about this week? What are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
We kind of run out of things to talk about. So this week, I figured.
we don't.
Oh, well, okay, that's fair. That's fair. There's always something to talk about with the weather. This week, though, I added to our little rundown sheet that we look at. We're just going to kind of talk about our week. That'll be the start, and then we'll talk about what's coming up in the week show. So, what have you been up to? Anything exciting? Anything exciting coming? No.
I'm trying to think here.
Okay.
I mean,
sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah, no. I mean, kind of status quo.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody sort of. They get to the beginning part of the year and they're just kind of grinding away for a few months, and then they have some trips planned for when the weather's nicer.
Yeah, whenever that might be.
In my case, my brother's getting married, so I'm the best man in that wedding. That's going to be really, really cool. But that's in like May.
I was gonna say that's like early summer, right?
Yeah, if you're wondering why somebody's gonna have to work Memorial Day weekend, that's not me. Blame my brother.
Yeah, we're not really happy about that. Anyways, moving along.
What about you? What are you up to?
I think a lot of people have been aware. I've been doing Pet Connection the last couple of weeks.
Yes, keeping you busy.
Filling in for Steve, and very busy. I don't envy him. Because the little bit that I've done, I'm like, wow, it's a lot of work. It's a lot more work than what you think it is.
He's just a workhorse.
I do love the fact that I get to interact with the animals when they come in. We've always been sitting in the weather center when he comes in and he brings the animals, and you can kind of see them briefly, but it's different when you're actually able to sit and interact with them and see their personalities and everything else, and it just makes me want to adopt all of them.
We've seen your Pet Connection segments at the end of the 8:30 show on the mornings. You've done a great job.
Thank you. Some of them are a little rougher than others. I think I had a cat earlier in the week. She was very, I think she just wanted to get off my lap. So I'm like, all right, let's hurry up and just record this. So.
Some cats are just don't touch me, don't hold me.
She was sweet. She was purring. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I think good. It's just it was the drive over. Some cats don't really like the carriers and traveling and things like that. So, that was just one of those. I'm like, okay, even if I mess up, we're just gonna cruise on through this because she's not comfortable right now, basically. So beautiful, beautiful cat though. Speaking of weddings too, I've got a wedding coming up next month for my aunt. So
exciting.
You don't really think of weddings in March, but.
Your aunt did.
They've both been married before, so it's one of those things where it's just kind of, they're going to keep it small and
celebrate.
Exactly. So
it's exciting.
They don't have to go all out. They've already
done
all that. So it should be a fun time with some family and stuff. So, all right, enough about what we're doing. Now here's the overview for the week. We've got a little bit to talk about. As of our recording this on Wednesday, we've of course got a storm system moving in. So we want to kind of go through on how we forecast different precipitation types. We're going to show you a program called BuffKit.
Oh, boy.
Which shows the cross-section of the atmosphere. I know we've done this before, Kevin.
Yeah.
But I did a little bit more of a detailed dive into it for this particular storm.
Right.
It's not as easy as it seems. It may come off looking easy when we're forecasting on TV and stuff, but sometimes, especially with this, it's not as cut and dry as you think it is. You brought this one up, a remarkable stretch of temperatures, of high temperatures failing to reach 40 degrees.
Yeah, crazy that I would come up with some abstract stat. I've never done that before.
I've been coming up with some arbitrary ones lately.
Rubbing off on you.
Average temperatures.
Before,
the what?
I said not that you
guys stop cutting me off. No, kidding.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm kidding.
Trying.
Average temperatures are warming up. This is kind of a cool graphic that Kevin made me redo twice today. So we'll have some fun with that. Make it look
better.
And actually, we received a viewer comment last week. I don't know if you got the email. I forwarded it on to you.
I saw it.
Very, very nice. So we will talk about that as well. Not to, pat our own backs, but we're going to pat our own backs because, hey, we finally got a comment. We're waiting for the comments. You guys need to, let us know. Let us know what we're doing. Let us know if we're doing anything that you don't like. That's all we're asking. or if there's a question
I want
that
to
you
make,
have.
we want to make the show better.
Exactly.
If it can be better, if you have some ideas. Let's do it.
Exactly. So I think I'm gonna take this up full, Kevin, just because
Go for it. I'm looking
it's
at
gonna
it.
be easier to see.
Yeah.
So we look at this on a daily basis. This is our program that we use. It's called BuffKit. This gives you a cross section of the atmosphere. Now this is at one particular time. So you're going up the brown color at the bottom, that's the ground, and then you're going up each line, each horizontal line is 1,000 feet up into the atmosphere. You see the red line there, that represents temperature. You see the green line there, that represents the dew point. Now, I'm going to make this a little bit easier.
Oh, I love this.
So I added the freezing line on here. Obviously, this is all in Celsius. So you see that 0, that is the freezing line. There is a pocket of above freezing temperatures between 3,000 and 4,500 feet with this particular sounding for this particular storm. And then it goes below freezing for about 2,000 feet. And then the lowest 1,000 feet of the atmosphere, that includes the ground, is above freezing. So a sounding like this, Kevin, would probably lead maybe sleet or a cold rain. Depending on if it has time to kind of refreeze before it reaches the surface or not.
That's pretty good. Pretty good distance.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's good to visualize it like this. I know we've got those graphics we show on TV all the time, but this is what we are actually looking at when we're trying to forecast, especially something like this. It's not cut and dry. It's not everything below freezing or everything above freezing. Here's another way to look at it too. It's another form of BuffKit, another look at BuffKit.
Oh boy.
So from the right to left, that's how the time goes on this. So this is from Wednesday morning through Thursday morning. And we're going to really look at Wednesday afternoon. Notice at 3,000 feet, you see a 1. There's not a negative sign in front of it. That goes all the way up to about 4,500 feet. That is that layer of above freezing air that we just looked at on the previous photo. And then it goes below freezing again. And then you notice that lower 1,000 feet, we're what, +1, +2 there, I think, Kevin?
Yeah, it gets to +2, right by 18Z, which is also known as 1 p.m. this time of year.
Which,
it says it down there.
just before coming on and recording this, temperatures were in the upper 30s.
Yep.
So that makes sense. Now, notice after... I don't even know. Maybe that's 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Everything goes back below freezing.
Quickly.
So anything that would be falling would be all snow at that point.
Yes. So that 0 that you see, there's like an X sort of at about 1,800 feet between the 18 and the 0Z for Wednesday afternoon and evening. Basically, what that tells us is that's when the model has the precipitation rates really picking up, and so that cools things down on its own.
Notice how quickly it crashes.
I mean, yeah,
it
it's
crashes
quick.
in an hour.
Yeah, so that's why, I mean, maybe accumulations aren't as high as what Tuesday's guidance said, but it's still impactful, and it's sort of like very quickly go from sleet to snow, heavy wet snow, and kind of deteriorate driving conditions this evening.
Now, of course, we will look at this on Thursday and see if it
got another one.
If it came true or not.
Yeah.
This was a tricky one, because everything came in so wet, a lot of moisture on Tuesday, and then we started seeing a trend Tuesday night. That I didn't like. It wasn't necessarily south, but it was very dry and very limited moisture north of Albany.
You guys had a doozy, and I say that because I obviously was off Monday and Tuesday, so I was kind of I was looking at the data, but.
And it's unfortunate because it looked very cut and dry on Tuesday. It really honestly did. It was like, this is going to be a general swath of snow. That's it. And then we came in this morning and we're like, oh, okay, everything cut back by at least half.
Yeah.
So that's why forecasting, you can only go based on the best models. And yesterday we were leaning on our higher resolution short-term models because when you're within 24 hours of an event, it's not a bad idea to do that. Yeah, they failed us this time.
Happens.
The models aren't perfect. That's what we need to come to a conclusion about, is that the models aren't perfect. But with that in mind,
Look at
when
this.
when you look at all of what we just showed you with BuffKit, this is what you would get on a radar map. This is obviously a future cast, but this goes to show that, okay, where you've got below freezing temperatures, you've got the snow. Where you've got that little bit of warming aloft, maybe at the surface too, that's where you start to see that pink, that's that mix, or maybe even just freezing rain. Sometimes the mix is hard to really determine exactly what it is. And then, of course, you've got the areas where it's just plain old rain, where you see the yellow and the green. So
sometimes the mix will vary within like neighborhoods.
Yes.
Like several blocks away,
Yep.
it's ice, and where you are, it's sleet. So
it's tricky.
Yeah.
All winter long, we've been kind of lucky. This is our first real tough one.
So, I mean, I was saying this. I was like, I think this is our first like heavy, wet snow.
And that's the other thing too. Yeah. So obviously, you're going to be watching us after this event happens.
And we got another one with wet snow tomorrow.
Yeah. This
Friday.
will be a wet, heavy snow where it does accumulate. And then we've got another system on Friday that looks to be very similar, a little different. This was more of two frontal boundaries kind of coming together, Kevin.
Yeah.
What we call overrunning. The next one on Friday is a little bit more of a system actually coming at us, redeveloping on the coast. Question is, which I've been looking at the guidance the last couple of days, does that coastal low get going quick enough to kind of lock in the cold air before the milder air comes in? So
that was the forecasting quandary when that was day 7 on the 7-day forecast. I'm like, oh great, all precip types are on the table. And 7 days
so
out.
this one is kind of opposite. The one for today, Wednesday, is mix to snow, whereas the one Friday could be a snow to mix to rain, depending on...
Or just a mix to rain, depending on where you are. Yeah.
Exactly. So we're going to be that time of year. It's not going to be as cut and dry. So hopefully you're able to give us a little bit of grace. Give us a little bit of slack.
To be fair, I think we got lucky in December, January.
Yeah.
The storms were no doubters. I mean, it was the question was, how fluffy? And,
exactly.
We weren't always perfect with that for sure, but still easier.
The guidance seemed to be too fluffy with them
a couple times.
The last couple of times. But all right, that's going to take us to our first break, Kevin. So
nice.
When we come back, we're going to talk about the remarkable stretch of temperatures below 40 degrees. We've got some numbers for you. And the average temperatures, they're going up. Don't go away. And welcome back to Beyond the Forecast. So we talked about precip types. Now we're going to talk about a stretch of pretty remarkable weather. So I'll take this one on, Kevin. Then you could talk about the top 10 because you inspired me to do the top 10. So I don't even know if you looked at the data for that. Whoops.
Whoa,
I am
wait a
passing
minute.
along. Hang on a second. All right. So here's... This is what we're talking about. Days in a row at 40 degrees or below. So it could have been 40, but it's 40 or below.
Once.
Yes. And our current tally, we've had 34 days in a row. So we've got to go all the way back to January 15th.
Jeez.
That's the last time. I think we were at 40 degrees on the 15th. Before that, we were above 40. The record, 1940. So this is since records began.
This is unreal.
93 days in a row. With temperatures failing to exceed 40 degrees. That's kind of crazy.
I cannot imagine that. I thought this one would. Now, granted, we had about a 10-day stretch where we had a couple days that exceeded 40.
Almost 50.
If you go back to late November, 40-degree days, 40-plus degree days are few and
Very
far
limited,
between.
yeah.
So,
It's been
we had an interruption.
Yeah. There was people have said, they're like, we haven't had a thaw in January. We did. I just think you forgot about it because it got so cold after that thaw.
We thought honestly, I thought it was possible that once that thaw arrived, that, some winters, that's the worst that it gets.
Yep.
And then it didn't.
It got worse.
It just didn't. So.
It just got worse. Mother Nature's like, here, watch this, basically. We did do a little bit of digging for the last 20 years, or 26 years. I think I went to, or maybe it was 96. I don't know, regardless.
It was 30 years, but all of them were in the past 26.
Okay. So here's what these numbers look like on a tally since 1996 of consecutive days with highs of 40 degrees or less. So Kevin, take it away. Hopefully you understand some of my chicken scratch there.
Oh, you're good. So yeah, basically, past 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we've compiled the top 10 here, and all of them have taken place since 2000. So basically, we ended up looking at this century. What are the longest runs at 40 degrees or less? And 2015, quite the stretch there from January 5th through March 8th. Hopefully, we don't go till March 8th this year.
Obnoxious.
I don't think we will. However, 62 days, so a 2-month stretch where the high didn't get above 40.
Hey,
so.
we might get to the end of February. Looking at some of the guidance, we've only got another week.
Oh, I want this.
So March 8th isn't too far away.
On the 7th day, it's not there, at least when we're recording. So, what is it, 34 right now?
Yeah.
41 plus.
Yeah.
So a chance to get to top 5.
Yeah.
Because as you go down, we had a stretch from late 2020 to end of February-ish of 2021. End of February-ish. I just made up a term. 57 days.
Actually, it was a definitive February 23rd.
Right. I could say dates. January 4th through February 27th of 2004, or 2004. I've heard it both ways. I think as we get farther removed from the 2000s, it's I've heard 20.
Yeah, I've never heard 2004. It's to me, it's always been 2004, 2009.
I like saying I was born in 2000. So
and then it got to 2010, and you just started doing 2010.
Yeah, 2010. Yeah, 2026.
I think I still did hear those.
Sidebar aside, back to the task at hand. In late 2000, early 2001, a stretch of 43 days. So that's the 5th longest stretch of 40 degrees or less this century. And we have a pretty good shot of at least matching that, possibly exceeding that. So if we go a little farther along, we see some convergence, some pretty long runs as well. 2011 had a run of 42 days, 41 days in 2000, which was, I believe, right before one of the other stretches we just showed you.
Whoops.
So that's a brutal winter.
Made a typo on that one again, too. I got to start looking at these.
Deb?
Or you got to start looking at those.
Deb?
Yep.
That's okay.
That's a new month.
Yeah.
Debember.
Feels like it's the same month, right? But there you see the current streak of 34, and of course that'll go to 35, 36 probably by the time you see it. Unless it warmed up. It's a possibility.
I saw 38. That was and with the precip, I don't think we're going to warm up anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're on track to get top 5 this century of consecutive days, 40 degrees or less. So if this winter's felt a little extra, yeah.
It has been.
I mean, I feel like I've said that line before because it's true. This winter's just grueling.
And I mean,
no breaks.
This is one of those arbitrary stats where, obviously 40 degrees isn't cold necessarily, but when you're talking about a streak, it is. It's important. You know what I mean?
We're missing the rogue warm day.
Exactly.
We haven't had a lot. I mean, we had the thaw. I just feel like a lot of winters in my lifetime have featured a run at 50.
Yeah. Even this time of year, you could be making a run towards 50 or even 60.
I mean, the records are getting closer to 70.
I was going to say, when I was in Elmira still in February, we had the record warmest day. I think we had 70.
It could definitely happen there.
I mean, that was just unbelievable. It was unbelievably warm. I loved it.
We get to the time of year. I mean, it's sort of happening with this system on Wednesday where, you get down to central PA and it's in the 60s and up here it's close to freezing. So it's just how some of them set up. It's why we have those mixed events too.
A lot of it has to do with the terrain, I think.
Yeah,
the warm air sometimes just gets stuck. It just cannot make it north.
Those Catskills, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of rides up and over the cold air. It's above our heads, but it's just not down here. We can't enjoy it. This next graphic, Kevin, is a little confusing, so I might need your help.
All right.
To kind of explain it. But this is basically going to be talking about the average last time we see a temperature at or below a certain temperature for highs.
All right. I've got a good way to do this. Okay. So pretty much the dates that you see in the left-hand column corresponding to these temperatures is basically once you get to that point, it's like a flip of the coin if you'll get a high temperature less than that or not.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
In half of the years, it's happened on or before that date,
Yep.
and in the other half of the years, it's happened a little bit later. But it just gives you an idea of when these temperatures become much less frequent, much less common, or maybe they've happened for the last time already in a season. So an average, what's up?
I was just about to say, it's funny. I mean, January 25, the average last time we see a high at 25 or less is March 3rd. So, I mean, we're creeping up on that.
Yeah.
And last year we were right around where we should be. March 2nd was the last time we saw a high that low. I think it was 22, if I remember correctly from writing it down.
And the fun part, especially with these colder ones, is that you have your average, but I'm sure the last, there might be a couple of rogue years, but outside of maybe like 5 years, I bet most of them have happened within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we're almost to the point where we can rule out highs in the mid-20s. That's what that tells me.
Even 35, we're getting close to that.
It goes
quick. We're a month away. We're about a month away from that.
It goes quick. I mean,
but look at last year.
The sun angle's just getting really strong.
That'll
be fun with our storms, Rob.
The last 35 degree or less last year was March 8th. So
a week later.
Yeah. 45 mid-April.
Yeah. So, I mean, not that you can't get 45 or less beyond April 17th.
Because it has happened in May, especially early on, with or maybe not 45, but less than 50 for sure.
I think it happened last year.
A rainy day.
Remember last May?
Just horrible.
We'll have to recap last May.
Well, look at it. 55. The last 55 or below wasn't until May 23rd last year. That honestly, was 10 days, almost 2 weeks late.
It's honestly not as bad as I thought.
It's not. But it was, I do remember March or May, spring was
tough,
slow going last year. It was not fun.
After this winter, I think it might be fair to say that we would appreciate one that's a little quicker this time around. I know, I mean, this has been a great skiing season and whatnot. But
skiing, snowboarding,
ice skating,
sledding,
ice fishing, snowmobiling.
Yep.
I mean, those guys at the Lake Desolation camera look like they're having the winter of their lives right now. But at the same time, once it becomes impossible to do those sorts of activities, let's just bust out of it. Let's just
especially once the ice starts to become unsafe.
Yes.
Let's just warm
Rip the
things
Band-Aid,
up. Exactly.
And by that I mean just give us the warmer air.
Because it does get to that point where it's like, okay, you don't want to venture out on the ice. It's still there.
Yeah.
But you don't want to venture out because you've had the freeze and thaws and everything else, and it's just not safe anymore. Also, Kevin, I do want to make mention of this before we go to break really quick. I'm working on a new graphic that we may feature here every week. It is actually going to be for maple syrup production. That was actually asked of me last week, so I'm kind of in the works of creating something. So that's something that you guys can look forward to. I know not everybody does it. I know some people do it as a hobby in their own yards.
Yeah.
So, maybe this will just be something that can give a little bit of insight. So, just kind of wanted to throw that in there before I toss it off to break. I don't know why I thought about that, but
yeah, I was going to say, I mean, that's news to everybody watching. That's news to me
it's
right now.
It's news to Kevin, exactly. That's one of those surprise conversations.
All right.
I like to do that sometimes. Anyways, we're going to go to break. When we come back, we've got a nice viewer comment from one of you at home. And, of course, we'll end the show, as we always do, asking for questions. Don't go away. And welcome back to Beyond the Forecast. Kevin and I, we're going to try to wrap things up here. I know I sent you this email, Kevin. I thought it was very, very nice.
Was it on Saturday, Friday? I forget when I saw it.
Oh, when was that?
I know you forwarded it.
Late in the week or over the weekend or something. But we appreciate the comments. I didn't put the last name on here because I didn't ask permission to, I just didn't want him to feel singled out. But I did put his name on there. Thank you, Steve. He sent me an email saying, I watched your latest episode of Beyond the Forecast. I find the presentation that you and Kevin do very interesting. He went on to say, it helps me understand how you forecast as well. So hopefully this episode is also one that helps you understand that, because we went kind of a very deep dive in that. And he then goes on to thank us both for taking the time and effort to produce this segment. So, Steve,
Thanks, Steve.
if you're watching this week, thank you so much.
I love doing this.
Yes, it's fun. It's in the middle of the week. We get to record this. I do look forward to doing this. I look forward to texting Kevin on Monday and saying, hey, what are we talking about this week on Beyond the Forecast?
Yeah, it's on Monday, totally.
Mondays and Tuesdays I text, in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to say it on Monday, and then I forget, and it's on Tuesday. I'm like, hey, I got no ideas.
I'm actually gonna start coming in on Monday and Tuesday instead of Thursday and Friday. Like I'll still come in Wednesday, and we'll do this. But
so it'll make the production of this a lot easier.
I think we're gonna do a lot more of this, like together. I do stuff over the weekend sometimes. Yep. Rob does stuff Monday and Tuesday, but we're gonna probably work a little bit more hand in hand,
which will come handy. It might make this show a little more cohesive, kind of put together a little bit better, especially when we are sitting side by side instead of texting like, hey, I think we're just going to do this.
I'll look at this Wednesday morning when I get in.
Exactly. Next week, we're going to try to have a special guest on here. Our newest member of the Storm Tracker weather team. I'm sure many folks have already seen that Jordan has decided to leave, which we wish her all the best.
She's great.
Exactly. So we loved having her here. She decided to go on to other ventures, and of course, we wish her literally nothing but the best. No, what do they say, bad blood or anything? Like none of that, literally. So
some have speculated, but
exactly, and that's why I kind of wanted to quell that.
Yeah.
That's not the case at all. She just decided to pursue other opportunities. So I think she's still in the area.
Yeah.
So, she hasn't completely left. So, but we'd love to get Allison on here. Hopefully we'll be recording a little bit of a segment with her later this week, and it will be on our program next week. So you can get to know a little bit more about her, because you can only know so much and learn so much from on air, right? You have a certain amount of time. You get in your ear, rap. You got 5 seconds.
I kind of wish this was around when I first started.
Right.
That'd been cool.
I'm glad that we started this, because I do kind of want to expand that a little bit. When we start getting new reporters, anything, I would like to try to get them in here. I know this is a weather program, but I'd like to introduce them to the viewers, because a lot of times, there's a little introduction, but you don't get a whole lot. You don't get to know the reporter very well. So that's where I've wanted to go with this program a little bit. So we'll see.
Cool.
Maybe it's a little side shoot, 5-minute, discussion of the new people. So, as always, if you have a weather question or something cool to share, or a nice comment like Steve had, we always love those. we know we get enough of the bad ones. You can email myself or Kevin. Our email addresses are right there. You may be featured on a future episode. Of course, we'd love to see pictures. I know next week we're going to be talking about the lunar eclipse. Early March, and there is a planetary alignment. Somebody sent that to me. I do have to do a little bit more digging on that to see if it is legit, but that would be the end of the month as well, so that will be discussed next week. So hopefully the skies are clear for that, because we'd love to see your pictures on that one. I thought you were going to say something. That's why I stopped talking.
I just get nervous. Clear skies at night around here.
I know.
This time of year.
Planetary things.
So I'm always like,
I know. Space stuff is tough. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, we love doing this, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week. Have a great week ahead, and stay dry. Don't shovel too much, and maybe there'll be some warm air sometime in the future. Who knows?
Inevitable.
Eventually. Have a great week, guys.